Math can be art, but it can't lie. You are good. You have art in you.
Mark, I wanted to start by making Benjamin blush a little bit because he is absolutely phenomenal in this film. What is something about his approach to the work on set that wowed you and made you think, like, this right here is a movie star?
He is a complete natural. I mean, he does everything. I wasn't able to see him in Music Man, but I've gone online and seen clips. He does it all. He sings, he dances. He actually knits.
I crochet.
I can't do that. But his enthusiasm is infectious. He loves what he's doing. And I have to tell you, I saw a clip of him singing Where Is Love from Oliver, and I've seen that show several times over the years, so I took my kids to see it. And anyway, my point is that song is usually a plaintive, introspective, almost melancholy lament. This guy gets out there and belts it like it's a 10:30 number. And, with a fantastic voice. I just never heard that interpretation before. He made it all his own.
Well, that was a great question you definitely made me blush many times there.
I'll let you give Mark some flowers.
Well, see, a lot of times I keep something, like a pair of glasses or a hat. I always ask the producers, can I keep such and such as a memento? I wanted to keep him. Seriously, I wish he were my real grandson.
Oh, that's such a beautiful thing.
Higher praise cannot be given.
I totally get it, especially seeing the joy that you have doing your work on screen in this finished product. I feel like that's something that radiates off the screen and makes the movie even more powerful. I will let you give Mark some flowers back now because that only feels fair. So you are working opposite a legend in this movie. And when that happens, I imagine you go into it with certain expectations. So can you tell me something that he did on set that exceeded those expectations or surprised you?
Yeah. Life of Chuck was really my first professional film opportunity. I didn't know much going into it, but the first time that I met Mark, we had lunch, and I really just was able to connect with him, and it really brought me down to earth a little bit more and made me think he's just a regular person. We're both there to film this movie. The first day that we did film, though, the thing that kind of resonated with me the most was he kind of just went into his character. He stayed in it the whole day. He didn't leave it. And I really tried to take that and it really helped me. And another thing is he does something different on every single take. And it's so much fun to act with him because I get to do something different then. And we get to play off of each other. And in every single time that we have a moment in this movie, there's something there that's happening, something I'm thinking of or something that he's doing. And there was so much that I was able to kind of play with that he kind of gave me. And he was just a great guide to have during the film.
Oh, I'll follow up on that briefly. Can you maybe give me an example of a specific scene where Mark threw out like two polar opposite versions of it, where it kind of kept you on your toes and helped you find new things in it?
I don't know that there's a radical difference. I try and do nuance, just because every take is precious and you don't want to be robotic and do exactly the same thing. And then you discover things from the other actor and react to that. So that's the way I look at it.
I think the scene that kind of turned something on for me, there's a clip of it out somewhere. It's the scene where he's saying his monologue about math. And in that scene, I'm mainly just reacting. But even if you're not saying a line, you should still be acting. And every single time he said a word, I was able to say stuff in my head or something to keep me in the moment. And he never brought me out a moment. I think that's the moment that kind of.
Because acting is reacting.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. I love me a Mike Flanagan monologue, but those monologues are also only as powerful as the person reacting to them. So I totally get that. Benjamin, one other thing I really wanted to ask you about was the other Chucks in the movie, because last I spoke to Tom, he said he shot his dance scene the first week of filming, and then Mike and Mandy passed some of what they found then along to you. So do you remember any specific little notes that you got and wound up incorporating into your own performance?
Yeah, I think I should state that Mandy was nice enough to invite me to set and watch Tom dance. And that was huge in helping me develop dancing like Tom. I had to put some similarities of what he did into my performance, and there were so many things that he did physical. There's a move that he does with his hand. How he moved his hips, how he even used his face when he was dancing, how he closed his eyes at some moments. There were a lot of things that I didn't want to write them down, because then I thought if I wrote them down, then I would be too robotic and I would try to be too much like Tom, which I didn't want to take everything that he did and kind of just use that. But if I hadn't been there that day, it would have been a completely different dance sequence. But Mandy was nice enough to let me go to set. Mike and Tom were nice enough to take a moment out of filming to say hi to me. And that day was really crucial in the development of the dance for me.
Oh, so effective. Like the echoes and how they feel so natural is something that really wows me about your performances in this movie. Mark, before they kick me out of here, I do want to squeeze in one question about the long walk, because I'm a big Stephen King fan in general. I love this short story and I love that novel so much. And I was wondering, what is it about the role of the major that called to you? Something about it that made you think it would fill you up creatively in a new way?
Well, it's interesting because it's, I think, the second thing he ever wrote when he was 17, okay? Under his pseudonym, which eludes me right now. What's it?
Richard Bachman.
What?
Richard Bachman.
Wow.
Richard Bachman. So I'm fascinated with Stephen King. I've read over, I think he's written 60 novels. I know I've read over 40. That one was pretty difficult. The premise alone is so ghastly. And I don't like extreme. I mean, I don't go see slasher movies or any of that. And it's not that. The story is really about these young men. They're the heart and soul of the story. I'm nominally the antagonist because the state is the antagonist, but I represent the state. And even though I read it, I wasn't around to see this young cast of actors. And when I finally saw it put together, I told Francis Lawrence, it's so effective. But it really belongs to this young cast of actors that I'd never seen before. Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson, they are, and all of them, down to the people that have one or two lines, even the background people were perfectly cast. And that's where the real emotion was. So it didn't really impact me till I saw it all put together. But I just show up occasionally to torment them and be a giant a-hole.
Oh, I mean, that is kind of true to the role, but I have a feeling I'm going to be encouraging you to give way more credit to yourself for your work in that film. I can't wait for that one.
I was shocked because they sat me next to Stephen King at the screening of Life of Chuck at the Toronto Film Festival. And I went to sit down and he looked at me, the Major. I thought, how does this guy know I'm in his movie? It turns out later he has control over everything. He has control of casting, director, everything. I mean, after some unpleasant experiences early on in his career, he demanded that, and obviously, he deserves it. But that was the way that I was like I say, I was astonished that he knew because we hadn't even started filming yet.
I'm so excited for that. And again, I love this movie. I've already seen it too many times and I'm going to keep watching it over and over. It fills me up in a really important way.
That's wonderful.
Huge congratulations to both of you.
Thank you very much.